What is going on, guys? Ride or Drive back with another one. I'm gonna quickly do a first impression review of my new helmet. This is the HJC F70 Deathstroke DC Comics. So let's take a look at it and go over some of the features of this helmet. As you can see, it's orange, but on the other side, which this is the back of the helmet, the other side, it's blue. So just like the DC Comics character, it's multicolored, which orange and blue are some of my favorite colors because of the New York Metropolitans, New York Mets. I'm a Met fan. I didn't even care about it being Deathstroke. I'm not a biggest DC Comics fan. I'm more of Marvel. But I like the helmet. It looks pretty intense. All these markings are what I would assume will be battle scars from this superhero series. It has them on both sides. On the I'm trying to do this with one hand, people. On both sides here, you can see. So this is a matte finish. It has no texture, like it shows here. This is not textured at all. So since we're in the back, let's go ahead and look at these. These are the exhaust ports of the helmet, so the air will come out and come out this way. And usually I do remove these decals from the helmet. Unfortunately, that one is actually integrated into the helmet. I'm not a big fan of these decals. I usually take them off. There's the DC Comics logo. Let's go ahead and review some of the features of the helmet. Since I'm already at this point, I want to talk about this. This is the release for the visor. It has a screw that you're supposed to screw off, and that's how the visor popped off. I'm not a big fan of this. I had a DC helmet and the screw kept on coming loose, but considering this is an HJC and not a DC Cycle Gear brand, I hopefully will not have a problem with this, but I prefer the quick release of all my other helmets. This face shield is pin lock ready, so you can add a pin lock if need be. And there's the front of the helmet, the two exhaust intakes, and there's the air intakes for the front. So you got one up on the chin and you got one down here. So one thing I don't like about the helmet is these two. They protrude a little bit too far for my taste. I would probably prefer only one and not two. But let's go ahead and open it up. And there is the chin guard, very large chin guard, which actually protects you from fogging up, but I would prefer a smaller one actually. This helmet itself reminds me a lot of the Icon helmets. I believe there's one called the Icon Airflight. I'm thinking. There's a drop down visor. One thing about the drop down visor, it comes down pretty low. As you can see, it almost covers the entire face of the helmet, and that's how it looks with the shield down and the visor. On this visor, I'll probably do like maybe a light smoke and probably a blue one. Most of my helmets, pretty much every helmet I have, does not have a drop down visor. I prefer not to have a drop down visor myself. I know some of the drop down visors interfere with some of the air vents on a lot of helmets because the visor goes up here and it kind of blocks out the air. I'm not sure if that's the case with this one, but it is what it is. It does come with a drop down. And then in addition to that, a lot of drop down visors will not make the Snell rating, but this is a DOT and ECE rated helmet. Once again, I'm not a big fan of this right here, but there's a helmet in its glory, the HJC F70 Deathstroke. Let's go ahead and look at the helmet complete. I don't want to drop it off the table because I'm doing this with one hand, so I don't want to have to drop it. But there's the design of the helmet. In my opinion, it looks very cool. So it's got my two favorite colors, the blue and the orange. I'm a big fan of orange. You've seen my Riker. You've seen the color scheme that I was going for. There's the blue. Like I said, those battle scars look pretty cool. It looks like, you know, you've dropped the helmet or whatever, but that's not the case. That's just the way the design is. And you can look on the other side. The other side does not have the textured graphics. Only the other side has that texture, which is this right here, but it's not textured. It's completely flat. There's the design of the helmet on the orange side. I think it's a good looking helmet. Just this bothers me right here. And there's the vents. So there it is. Like I said, I really like this helmet. This is not, I'm not a fan of this right here. HJC should have done one with a better way to remove the visor, a quick release. And then these protrude a little bit too much from the front of the helmet. This helmet, like I said, it kind of reminds me of the Icon, maybe the Icon Flight. But it's a comfortable helmet. This right here is like a gel coating. You can remove this as need be. I might remove this and just do a custom HJC decal like I did on one of my other helmets. It's not a deal breaker, but I don't like the gel because I'm not sure if this is going to start coming off, peeling after a while. But I've never had any problem with HJC helmets. They've been more than reliable. I've got a few HJC helmets. If you know me, you know I have a helmet thing. I've got a few helmets actually. So I've got a Shoei, which is which is an older RF 1200, I think it is, and I've got the Tsudishi Strata 2 Carbon that I just picked up, and I was taking a chance picking up a Cycle Gear brand. The last Cycle Gear brand that I picked up was a Built, and I didn't have good luck with that thing. That thing ended up being a piece of junk. But here we go with this helmet, so we'll see how this works out. So once again, people, this is the HJC F70 Deathstroke. It is very hard to find this helmet nowadays because it's getting phased out. I think this model came out maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not too sure. I would have to check. But it was very hard for me to find this in my size. I finally found it on eBay of all places. So there you go, guys. HJC F70. Deathstroke DC Comics. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the road.